prime time on the top game, it's a fine line. Man in the match, that's Daveye, he's the main guy, keep a close eye. Make sure you don't make no wrong play, cause I'm with Jose and Andre. When Cyrus comes to walk in, you better know that you are watching Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on, prime time. Let me hear you say Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on, prime time.
Hello and welcome to Premier League Primetime. And yes, people, I have been hearing the questions for months. Is Cecil coming back? Where's Cecil? Where is he? Well, we have him here, people. And it's only right to have him for this fitting occasion. Arsenal taking on Manchester United this Sunday in the FA Cup. Cecil, how are you doing, my good friend? It's been a very long while, but it's good to see you, though.
I mean, I'm good. I am good. As much as if people, may watch some of the content right now, the mood around Arsenal fans isn't greatest, and rightly so. I mean, we've just been, we've just been knocked out of the League Cup. We haven't been knocked out, but it feels like that with a 2-0 defeat at Emirates. So, in all honesty, I'm good. I just round Arsenal. He's asked me about Arsenal, how I feel. Yeah. The mood's a bit strange. Obviously, there's been no signings yet in January.
No, of course.
Arsenal, which we need to address, and then also, obviously the Newcastle defeat, which I kind of saw coming. I've said on many previews that I predicted that score. I was predicted 2-1 to Newcastle, but ended up being 2-0. But I didn't know it was going to be that bad, even though I did see some certain signs to say this team's starting to flag a little bit. But it hasn't been good. Well, in this instance right now, it's not great. And then going into this game, let's just hope.
Interesting.
Yeah, hope.
It'll be very interesting.
Definitely.
And speaking of Arsenal, apart from going forward, do you think that anything else in particular was just, glaringly wrong in that Newcastle game? I know you could probably choose from a number of different areas, but in particular for you, what was just the worst overall area of the pitch for you?
Like, the obvious answer is the attack. We're toothless in attack at the moment, obviously missing big chances. Whether that's, Timber's not an attacker, but we'll go straight to Havertz, which I think had the glaring miss, hits his shoulder instead of heading the ball in front of goal. Martinelli obviously had a chance. I'm not too critical on Martinelli. I'm not going to go too far on him because, listen, he hasn't been great of late in an Arsenal shirt. However, that chance, it's not an easy chance. It's a chance you expect, a top striker to put away, but I give him the benefit of the doubt for that one. But the attack is the glaring answer to what you just asked me. However, there was other things, like I've never seen Arsenal in a game blame each other that much. I've never seen the players on the pitch look around and be like, and pointing and gesturing like, where are you? Why are you not? That doesn't happen around Arsenal. Arsenal are, they're normally a classy side. If things are getting wrong, one player and a captain or a defender will go up to that player and say, listen, but on the game against Newcastle, I saw people blaming each other across the whole pitch, and they just looked bewildered. So that's another thing I kind of noticed that I wasn't happy in seeing when watching Arsenal, especially against Newcastle the other day.
No, definitely, and it definitely doesn't remind me of the old Arsenal either. Even under the end of the Wenger era, the Arsenal. He always likes to play that beautiful football, and this just looks like anything else than what I've known of Arsenal, growing up. Maybe not as old as a lot of other supporters are out there. I know that football that Arsenal played, and it was very good to watch on the eye. But it seemed like the Arsenal of like 5 years ago, just in regards to the mentality, was just kind of coming back a bit, like the pointing at each other and the blaming and the just taking a lack of accountability when really it was just all falling apart. And do you think now that do you think Arsenal are going to act and sign someone in January? Because surely they should bring an attacker in.
They have to. I'll be real, because the pressure will be unbearable from the fan base if he doesn't. But I say he has to, and I laugh because Miguel Arteta's the type of manager to be like, well, try me. Look, I don't have to do it. I can still try and achieve something, even though it's not going to happen. Or we might say he has to, and he ends up bloody signing a goalkeeper or another defender, knowing him.
A left back, possibly.
Yeah, exactly. They've always been linked to left backs, and it's It's outrageous. Some of the things I'm hearing from some of the Arsenal channels that who are targeting, but I don't know. I think he has to. I think he has to address the forward line. But again, he'll be under pressure. He's got Kai Havertz, who I haven't always been a massive fan of, is on 275 a week. He was the 65 million pound signing in the summer, so he kind of has to make that work. And if the board, if he says, look, I need some money for another striker, and then they say, well, what about the guy you brought and you're paying him this much for, and you have Jesus on 250 or 265,000 a week as well. What do you mean you need another attacker that's going to be on more money than that? So that can be a question that they may ask, even though he has to bring in an attacker. And if not, I think two, because Saka's out as well. I think he needs an attacker and a winger. So the answer is he has to. Whether he will, I mean, I'm not in those conversations right now. I don't know, and I don't know who he's targeting. I've seen some of the people that they've mentioned, and they're like young players just from I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like links to people
Martinelli 2.0s.
Yes. Projects, young projects that right now we don't need that. Also, we've had that. We've been there. So yeah.
No, definitely. You're at this point. Arsenal past that step, and they need to bring in someone for the now.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of Matthias Cunha, whether he signs that new deal or not, but just he may not be the guy to win your title, but he's, in my opinion, he's head and foot and shoulders above every single attacker you have, in my opinion, apart from Saka, of course.
Yeah. He's a very good player. Very good player. Would fit into this Arsenal system. However, he's just signed a new contract, which means you're paying a lot more for him, and it being a January window, and the need and the pressure from the fan base. They're going to know they can put that price up even more, or reject certain starting offers that Arsenal might go in for him, because they know that we need him. And again, he's got a new contract, so it's going to cost a lot more money. And if I'm honest as well, we need Cunha. Yeah, I will take him. But I look at the petulance that he has when he gets, people getting in his face or whatever. They wind him up, get in his head. That to me is a bit of a red flag. Regardless, we need players, we need bodies, I need quality in this team. He has that, but I would highlight those. He he's been banned recently and stuff. I definitely make sure I wouldn't forget those incidences if we did sign him. So yeah.
No, definitely. And going back to Kai Havertz and what we were talking about back in the summer, I think I'd asked you, do Arsenal need to sign a striker? And as far as I can recall, I think you had said no, and that you think they were fine. I could be wrong. Wrong.
Yeah, no, that'd be very that'd be very surprising. That'd be very surprising if I said no. I'm trying to think in the summer.
Or wasn't the highest of priorities, maybe.
Yeah, but, I know we needed a midfielder in the summer, and I probably would have said a striker as well. But it'd be I'll look maybe. Yeah.
No, fair enough. And but regardless, do you think, looking back at the summer and what Arsenal got done, the players that they brought in, even the Raheem Sterling thing on the at the very last minute because Reece Nelson left on loan, do you think it kind of goes all the way back there in a way?
Listen, a lot of fans say it does. And I agree. I'm sorry, that baffled me, that stumbled me, because I think I've been calling for a striker for so long. Not even just the last summer before that. I remember being in America and talking about we need Rashford and this is when he was on form. It's a change now. I'll change that. You
can have him now, though.
No, listen, friend of mine, but for Arsenal, he's not my number one choice right now. But I know
Rashford, man.
Of course. But I just know that I know that we've always needed a striker. An actual striker, or someone who's comfortable across the free and is of quality. I think Isak is a profile that encompasses what I'm trying to ask for there. But he can play in the 9, on the left. He probably can play on the right as well, but he can definitely play off the left and play up front. But I've always been screaming for that, and even when we signed Havertz, I questioned it. Going into that summer window, obviously Mikel Merino, I wasn't not happy with that signing. I think Mikel Merino, Euro Cup winner. I think it's going to take time for him to bed in. He's getting a lot of criticism right now from fans that it was not a good signing. But I think people have been a bit too reactionary when it comes to Mikel Merino. He's coming to a difficult side that are trying to find the right balance in that midfield, and it hasn't really been found yet. And of course, Calafiori, really good signing. I think people question him as well. I think he's a good signing. I know we're addressing defence again, but with the amount of injuries we've had in that position or across the back line, I'm happy with that signing. He's a good player. He definitely is. I think people forget, he got us the winner against. Well, we didn't win, but got us a crucial goal against Man City. And defensively, I think
it was a great goal that he scored. That was a really good goal, man.
Great goal, and I think he's defensively sound. I think he's good. He's a good player to have in there. I'm not going to remember all the signs, but I know he brought Raheem Sterling in on loan. That one, and I'm going to put my hands up. When he signed, obviously there's some Jamaican tax in there. I'm a Jamaican. The signed shirts are somewhere over there. Big them
up every time.
Big up Jamaica over there.
Big up the Jamaicans.
Exactly. Obviously, I know he plays for England, but he's obviously Jamaican born and bred. And for me, I didn't. The signing wasn't glamorous at the time, but then he did this welcome video and he said, "Yeah, you're yes me," and all that. And I'll be honest, I bought into that. Me being in the media and understanding certain things, should I have? Is it a bit naive? Potentially. But I bought into that and thought, you know what? If we just get a fraction of what we saw at City in his good days, and even, Liverpool, he wasn't what he was at City, but Liverpool, he still was really good, the lightning pace and all that. And, he was a player. I said, if we get a fraction of that, then we're in a good place. So, at the time, I thought, do you know what? It's not a bad window. I think I rated it like 6 or 7 or 7. I know some people were rating 8. I think I rated it 6 or 7 because of that last minute addition. And also we got rid of players that I didn't really believe in when it came to Arsenal. I didn't believe in.
Nketiah gone for almost 30?
Yeah.
Close to that.
He was gone. Obviously, not to say that I didn't believe in Emile Smith-Rowe. But I just knew that he can't last the 90 minutes and playing he can't last the 90 minutes, basically. And we're going to need players that at least have the fitness to do that. Reece Nelson, obviously, on loan. I think he just needed minutes, so it made sense for him to leave. And like Eddie moving on, I think was the right move. At the time, I didn't think it was too bad, but and I know fans keep looking at that window and saying we didn't address it. The only thing I will say is we've been wanting a striker. It might not just be me; it might be the whole family. It's for more than just the last summer window. I'm telling you, we've done videos every pre-season tour talking about the attack. But the manager heavily likes to address the defense and midfield. Obviously, that was his position when he was midfielder. So, it makes a little bit of sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. Not in the sense of why Arteta keeps looking at more centre backs and left backs and is lacking a striker, but it definitely is a bit baffling that he has signed one striker and one partial striker for 65 million, who wasn't going to be, Kai Havertz isn't guaranteed to be scoring new goals every single week. He had a decent half of last season, really, because remember they tried to play him in the Xhaka role as the Xhaka replacement, which I don't know. Maybe the manager brought him in because I don't know. He's left-footed, maybe.
Yeah, I think initially he was brought in to be that Xhaka or in the midfield to help out the midfield. It wasn't a striker. And then Arteta had to find a way to force him in because it was the big money signing. And let's not forget, before Bournemouth, when he got a charity penalty given by Martin Odegaard over to him, then he started finding a bit of confidence, a bit of form, and that's when he kind of kicked on. But even then, I think we went a bit too far as a fan base on the Kai Havertz train. But that's just, I say that because I've always had doubts of Kai Havertz, and I'm doing that little bit. I hate when fans do I was right in that instance. I'm kind of doing a little bit of that because I've watched Kai Havertz over time. I was a striker. Like I look at strikers all the time, and it's where my eye draws to. So when we signed him, I was baffled, and then I said he's definitely not a striker. And in the end, he had a good purple patch, and I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's not the answer. Fans have been screaming for strikers even to this day. That shows to you that person isn't a striker. I speak to Chelsea fans right now. Nicholas Jackson, they he's had quite a good run, but fans that I speak to still want a striker at Chelsea. They want another striker.
The proper patch is done. I rate Nico Jackson. I think he's good fundamentals, but again, it's not consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Every week.
Exactly.
You know,
Rasmus Højlund, for example. I'm sure you guys still need another striker. I know you got Xerxes.
Oh, we definitely need another striker, man, for sure. We definitely do.
And that shows you that your striker's not the main striker right now is not doing enough. And that's exactly how I felt from way back, and I continue to feel right now, because our attack is the issue, and I don't know how Arteta hasn't addressed it. I understand that Jesus you brought in, and then Kai Havertz, and the board might be saying, well, you know, you're gonna have to make it work, and he relied on Saka for a lot of these things. But I'm sorry, you need to look at the attack. You can't keep building defenses. They say defenses win you leagues, but I'm sorry, attacks also do. They win you games, most importantly first. And right now,
your goals.
Yeah, exactly. Score your goals, which is the fundamental of winning games. So, it's something that needs to be addressed very quickly. I've seen people do business already in this January window. I don't know why it's taken us so long, when the obvious answer is strikers.
No, Ipswich just signed Jadon Philogene from Villa. Yep. Really good player. Actually, I rate him highly. Very good player. So, and it shows, you know, teams say that they don't have the money. Arsenal, however many years ago, signed that number 14 Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who won you that FA Cup. So, you know, if the price is right. Yeah, exactly. If the price is right, if the money's offered, players are there. But looking at Arsenal and the attack, I know there's like maybe like probably four attackers that you probably have at your disposal right now. And what would you want to see Arteta start in his attack? I know the options aren't great at the moment for what you've got. But...
So are you saying for the game against you guys, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it's not great.
Oh,
it's a bit for us too, really.
I would love to see Kylian Mbappe. I'd love to see, I don't know, those sort of players, Nico Williams. I'd love to see that in my attack. But sadly,
Isak up front.
Isak in the 9. I'd love to see that. However, I won't be seeing that. I'll be probably what I would like to see Arteta go with. Listen, it's funny. Me and James were talking about this on the preview. I'd like to see. It pains me to say Havertz in the 9. Actually, let me give you this, right?
Okay.
When we did the Bricks 11 video, which isn't out yet, but I said I want to see the same team play that played against Newcastle, because I'm doing the old school thing where I want you to go out there and prove why you should be wearing that shirt, because you've let us down. You did a poor performance against Newcastle. Now go out there and change that narrative, because right now I'm not happy with any of those players that played in that game. Bar Mars Lewis Skelly, he's a youngster. I'm giving him a blind. Have a good game.
I rate that kid, man. That kid can play.
He can play. He's
such a good player, man.
Up for it, he's aggression, everything. He's going to be a quality player. And the fact that he's a midfielder playing out of position, that is his position, is in midfield. He's done so well to come in to that position and do well in the left back. But listen, so I want the same team to play. It's not going to happen. What I think Arteta is going to go with, and I wouldn't be annoyed at seeing, is Havertz in the 9, Gabriel Jesus on the right wing. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen it before, and he's done.
I've seen
well
him on the left. I've seen it on the left a few times.
Yeah, he's played on the left. He's played on the right as well. But I mean, in this whole, when Saka's not available, what are my options? Arteta is yet to opt for Gabriel Jesus, which in my opinion is probably the most comfortable in that position, and probably, well, Ethan. I think Ethan is the closest to Saka in that profile. Obviously, not in levels of ability, because Saka is miles ahead there, but close to profiles. Ethan Manieri is there, but I think Jesus is a close second. Ethan Manieri is obviously out because he's injured. So Jesus for me is the obvious option in that right wing position. He's tried Trossard there, didn't work. Martinelli there, didn't work. He's even tried Havertz out there the other day, really didn't work. So Jesus for me out there on the right, and then on the left, I mean, flip a bloody coin. It could be Trossard or Martinelli. I'm going to go with Martinelli because, if I'm honest, I just like him a little bit more.
Dave Pearce.
Yeah, I'm going with emotion and who I like more, which... Listen, I like them all. They're Arsenal players, but just
it's fair. No, it's fair. It's fair enough, man. You don't have a plethora of options, period, and the options aren't great, are they? At the end of the day, so you
and also, sorry, let me caveat that with against Newcastle, Martinelli. I know fans will look at that miss, but he actually showed a better performance than I've seen of late of him. He was getting in behind. He was actually running at his fullback instead of cutting in and passing back. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and put Martinelli in there.
He's looked better on the right than he has on the left. I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans say that. Do you think that's true or not really?
Wrong. Yeah, they're wrong. Don't read this. Listen, everyone has the right to their opinion, but on the right, Martinelli seems lost. And I think it's because there's a lot of pressure playing out on that right. I mean, there's a lot that's it's a demanding position. There's a lot.
It's going to be compared to Saka are playing on that side, or even if Ethan's playing on that side, and no one's going to be Saka. No one's
going to be Bukayo Saka. I think Martinelli that pressure. I think we look to go down that right side quite often. So, when I look at players there, you have to fulfill kind of Saka's boots. You're never going to be able to do that, but at least get close to it. Ethan, to be fair to him, he done well. When he played against Brighton, he scored a goal. Fans will say, and I've spoken to a lot of fans, said he didn't have a good game. He just scored that goal. However, I can look past him not having and he had an okay 45 minutes because he scored a crucial goal in that game. And on top of that as well, players were doubling up on him, on a 17
already.
Yeah, like they had Trossard, you have Jesus or Havertz in there that they're just like, don't worry about that. Let's focus on Ranieri, which is ridiculous. So I can look past that. I think that right side is big shoes to fill, but I don't think Martinelli is the greatest in that position. I think he's more comfortable out on the left.
No, fair enough. But of course, at the moment, not the most amount of options, but with what you have right now, and looking at this Man United team, where do you think, in your opinion, that you could target us on the pitch? In which areas do you think?
Oh, great question. My overall analysis is obviously, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well. I want to get your thoughts on my answer to this question, just so I can get a deeper understanding. Even though I watch United quite a bit. Obviously, I think we're, as a team, as a full 11, we have better quality than you do right now. So I expect us to win the game. I think it'll be a close game because the application you showed against Liverpool worries me a little bit that if you come to the Emirates and do that and we're not up for it, you can win this game. The areas where I would look to attack, obviously, I think Lenny Euro will step in over De Ligt. If he does start, Lenny Euro is a quality player, but I just think he's only recently, he's finding minutes, so he's still kind of getting new into bedding into this team. So I think you'd go for that. You'd definitely go for that. Your fullbacks, I mean, who's going to start? Mazraoui? Who's going to start in your fullbacks?
We usually just start Mazraoui and Diogo at this point because we just literally don't like in the attack. We just don't have anyone right now.
Yeah, Mazraoui's been good. He's been good. So I wouldn't look to target him if I'm being honest. You look at Dalot, but Dalot, if he's on form, he's very good at getting forward. I think defensively he can be exposed, but that's. I mean, I'm scraping a little bit there because he actually has been good forward and back. But I would say, Lenny Euro, if he comes in, set pieces, and I know you guys hate hearing that, and I want to hear the set piece FC.
I think everybody across the league, hates hearing the set pieces.
But we know that's a weakness of yours. And
no, of course,
strength of ours. So that's kind of the main spots. Obviously, because we mean to score goals, and if I'm honest, I don't see us attacking you very well. Talk about attacking Lenny Euro.
You might score an Olympico. It's very possible. Both of our goalkeepers concede Olympicos in back-to-back games, so it's very well possible.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, listen, it'll be for me. It'll be set pieces, and also, listen. I look at your midfield. I think it's unbalanced, but Bruno was really good against Liverpool. Obviously, Kobe, and your new site. Oh my God, why is it just slipped my mind?
Ugarte, Mamadou Ugarte.
They were very good to be fair to them. That was more of a balanced midfield. But if you unsettle that midfield, if Bruno starts to moan and all that and at the players and whatnot, I think our midfield can dominate that area. So I think we're gonna need to get some control in this game. It depends on how confident our team is, because if they're not confident, hey, we could get another Newcastle result. So there is a worry in there, but I think the midfield and whoever you bring into that centre back position, I think you kind of target them. If it's Lenny Euro, he's a good player, but I think he's new coming into maybe if he starts, he's going to be new starting in the Man United side. So attack that, and then also set pieces.
No, definitely, the perfect gateway into Manchester United and to give you my response. I honestly full on agree, and I've been preaching it for gosh knows how long about the midfield, and that people think that one of my takes is that's quite wild is that I don't really rate Kobe Manu in the 8 as much as I would rate him further up the pitch. I think because like when I look at players like Kobe Mino and Cole Palmer, for example, I'm not saying that Kobe's better than Cole Palmer, but they're very similar kind of footballers or street ballers. I mean, you've seen like the interviews that Kobe has given talking about growing up in Stockport and how do you play on the streets a lot. He seems like a typical like streets baller. That's what he seems like to me. And the same with Cole Palmer. And they like to kind of play like that. I guess you could say that attractive football and all that. And I think further up the pitch, I think he could probably be utilized better. What do you think?
So it's a take. It's a take. I think because right. I understand what you're saying. Because when he gets forward, he scored some important goals, Kobe. So there's clearly an ability to find the back of the net. And when you're playing in a role where you're deeper, you have to do a lot more work. So I liken this to Declan Rice. Fans are saying, not fans, Turkish says that he hasn't.
What was Turkish saying?
Well, he's just saying like Declan Rice is like people want more from him, I think, at times, but he's doing so much. So he's covering a lot of ground. He's the best at ball interceptions and ball winning. He's covering so much blades of grass in a match. He seems so tired that when fans say this, it wasn't just Turkish. Fans were criticizing him. I think Roy Keane said like, well, he should be scoring more goals. But then we use him so much defensively and ball winning and progressing the ball forward and driving forward that he's probably like, bloody hell, I'm doing so much here. Now you want me to go forward and score a load of goals? And I know that's the 8 role. That's what you want to see from your 8. But he does so much, like I said, defensively that I feel a bit sorry for him when fans are screaming for him to do more going forward. And that might be the same for Kobe. Like Kobe might be doing so much for you guys. I mean, I watch him and I don't see nothing really affecting, the offensive play from Man United. I don't see him sliding through balls in the way that Bruno does, doing ball splitting passes that create massive chances. I see him at times get forward and score, like last season, score crucial goals. But yeah, I don't know if he has that playmaker sort of, ability, especially like Cole Palmer has. I know you mentioned him, but I think he scores so much goals. I think he has different responsibility than what Kobe has.
They are a bit different.
Cole Palmer, I don't see. He doesn't have to defend. He does defend. He does get back, but not as much as what we liken to a Declan Rice in the 8th position. The way Kobe sometimes has to get back as well and defend. So I don't. Yeah, I think Cole Palmer has a bit more freedom to be expressive going forward. I see him sometimes just cruise about, drop a shoulder before he receives the ball, play in that the upper third of the pitch. So yeah, interesting take. I think we can. I think there's more. I think you can get more from Kobe, but you'd have to change a bit more of your system because I think Bruno gets the responsibilities kind of what Cole Palmer gets. And yes, Cole Palmer does get deeper than Bruno, I believe, but Bruno has a bit more freedom, in my opinion, as well as Cole Palmer. So yeah.
No, I can definitely see from that side, but I also think the system as well from Maresca also just allows, and even I guess under Poch, because it was more or less Cole Palmer FC last season anyways, to have the freedom to more or less, have the freedom to go about the pitch, drift in whatever areas that he wanted to. And we all know, and we've seen Bruno long enough that when the game's on its head, he has the tendency to self-destruct. He starts playing the long balls. He'll hoop it long, and then it'll be, Rashford hopefully run onto it for a counterattack. I mean, how many years have we seen it? And something I rate Odegaard so much for is just control.
Yeah.
Every time he has the ball, he's so good at just dictating the play, controlling the play. And Bruno's tends to be very erratic, and I think Kobe's just more controlled than Bruno.
That's true. That I agree with. That I massively agree with.
Which is why maybe just, I don't know, something I'd like to see the manager try.
Yeah. For his age, Kobe's mentality and maturity is something it would benefit your team in, like you said, maybe honing into a little bit more, 100%. Because Kobe for me sits into an Arsenal side perfectly. He's mentally mature, keeps the ball well. You can trust him in possession. So yeah, that I do see. It just depends on what it depends what your manager, what Ruben would if he would want to try and risk that. And I don't know what game he'd have to do that in, because right now I think every game's quite a big game. I suppose you're going for a rebuild. I mean, some of the Premier League games you could maybe look to do that, because you're not exactly fighting for. I mean, you want to probably try and scrape into Europe at some point, but you might want to try something like that. It's interesting, and it's funny you speak about Martin Odegaard. Right now, the fans are on his back. Dave. On his back. Massive.
I mean, the performances have not been great from him whatsoever. But I mean, when I think of Odegaard at his best, he controls the play so well. But similar to your attack, our attack has been pretty dreadful as well. Having a lot of difficulties as well. Xerxes has been given a lot of stick, as a lot of people have seen. Garnacho and Højlund haven't been good enough either. But of course, the one attacker who's always in the headlines, and because he's your good friend as well. What's your thoughts on the whole Marcus Rashford situation?
It's so funny. I just got this tweet sent to me.
Really?
It says,
perfect.
Just bro, it says, it seems that Arsenal have made a phone call to Manchester United for Marcus Rashford. The club value him though at 25 million euros. I'm going to send this to I'm going to speak to
that might go on Transfer Daily this morning.
I'm going to speak to someone close to Rashford and see if there's any truth in that. But interesting one. Obviously, like I mentioned, obviously I body double for him and know him and Dwayne quite well. Well, Dwayne more so than Marcus. But it's an interesting one. I would never ever say a bad word about Marcus Rashford, because people will look at me and on the comments and whatever and say, look, take away your bias and whatnot. But I understand what player he is. He's a very talented footballer, and I've campaigned for him years back to come to Arsenal. Right now, I think there's some things that he needs to maybe address and just like and whether he'll fit into an Arsenal side under a manager who doesn't really like big personalities and stuff like that. I think it'd be he's not my first choice. That's the only thing. When it comes to Arsenal, my first choice to come here. Could he come here and a confident Marcus Rashford improve an Arsenal side? Definitely. Can Mikel Arteta be the man to do that? Definitely. Has he got the quality to play in his team? Yes. But there's a lot of factors that if they go the other way and his mentality is not there and he's going to come in for a high price. Well, they just valued him at 25 million euros. But if he's going to be on high wages and if things don't seem to go well, our fan base and the pressure can get to players. And I worry that for Marcus Rashford. I've seen it at Man United, and the fans and the way they turned on him, I haven't really liked seeing at times. But he doesn't play for my club, so it's kind of a bit unfair for me to have a full opinion on that. But I'll always back him. Is he my first choice for Arsenal? No. If he came to Arsenal, would I be disappointed? No. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Again, I've worked with him on many shoots. He has an abundance of ability. Abundance. You only really get to see a fraction of that, I think, when you watch him on TV and matches live, because it's very much, he's quick and get him in behind. And the way he finishes, the technical ability he has, same like Declan Rice. I speak like this as well. I've seen Declan Rice away from a match and technically he's unbelievable. But you don't really see that too much. You just see the ball winning attributes and across the pitch. So that's kind of my thoughts on Marcus Rashford. There's still a player in there. But I also worry as well, because I thought that about Sterling. And we bought Sterling, yet we're yet to see him really figure properly in an Arsenal shirt. So but big up Marcus, man. Big up. I hope whatever happens, wherever he goes, I just hope he's fine.
No, I wish him the best. But whatever happens to him, I wish him the best. I mean, his goal scoring abilities can't be questioned. I mean, we all saw the purple patch a couple seasons ago. Which is what that former manager who probably like Flex at this point won't say his name at this point, or a lot of us won't. We saw, the heights that he hit then. And if that Rashford resurfaces anywhere, you got a player in your hands. And I think, and to sort of repeat one of my far earlier questions, where do you think, from a Man United point of view, could we get out or target Arsenal?
Hey, right now, a few places. I think, right, I watch Arsenal, and set pieces, yes, is our strength. I actually think, I know people say we defend them well, but I think there's we obviously concede against Bournemouth from a set piece. I think there's chances where, if you are, I know you guys aren't, it's not your main attribute, but I think there's chances where Arsenal can fall asleep at set pieces. I think if you, right, let me just say it as it is, because this is what I said against Newcastle, and this is why I predicted Newcastle would beat us, and this is why I worry for teams like Newcastle, Liverpool, actually, and Brighton in some instances. If Man United come to the Emirates, firstly, show the application they showed against Liverpool, there's going to be problems. That's one thing, but everyone knows that. That's the most, any fan can say that. If you come to the Emirates and do a thing where, I think people used to say, if you come and try and play against us, like open up and play against us, you're naive and we can punish you because we're football inside and we can basically dominate teams. People used to say it as a negative. However, if you come to the Emirates and go for us, like go for it, confidence, full confidence, like a mindset of let's have it. I always worry that Arsenal can't do that back. So because we're so focused on control and building up play, when a team just comes at us, are physical, play the ball in behind, find different ways to run forward at Arsenal, I think we get into a place of, oh crud. And when you're physical with it and quite aggressive and use the referee in any way possible by doing dark arts on us, we wilter, in my opinion. Of late, that's what I've seen. I think we kind of get a bit like, oh no, how do we deal with this? And we try and gain control again. But if you score in that time where you're just going at us, like throwing players forward, like say if you have Ahmad just running in behind and no one's scared to press us and shut us down and go 1v1, basically, whether it's defending or attacking, you can catch Arsenal in a oh no sort of situation, which is kind of what Newcastle did against us. So I worry about that because we can't go. I don't believe Arsenal can go, okay, well, we'll come back at you. So if a team's going open and throwing themselves at us, we can't do okay, you've pushed everyone forward and gone for us. Let us now go for you and counter it. I think we're quite bad at that. Our counter is very much, okay, we can counter, but we can half counter. We'll get the ball forward, but then wait for other players to come and join us in the attack and then try and find the perfect pass. So that is, long-winded answer, but that is my observation of late. I just feel like when the game becomes like a basketball match, we can't win that basketball game.
And I think Newcastle are the best side to actually play against you lot, because they're that midfield trio is just not only so good technically, but athletically and physically, I think they're head and foot above everybody else in the league right now.
I agree. Well, obviously, there's other midfields. Like, I think at times our midfield can compare. Sometimes Aston Villa, but the fact that how they are, even without Bruno, remember they beat us without Bruno Guimaraes in that midfield. They were unreal. I just think, and people, I've defended our midfield in every video I've done recently, because people were saying, well, Turkish again was saying we haven't got a Tielemans, we haven't got a Morgan Rogers. I put Tielemans aside because I don't really rate him like that. Morgan Rogers, I understand that. Physical, powerful, box to box, confident at breaking lines with his runs. We don't have that. However, we have technical players, and we have players that can break up play and then get it to technical players to kind of create those passes like the Martin Odegaards. But I do want a battle ram in midfield. I'd love a Bruno Guimaraes. Even the Joe Linton. I've mentioned Joe Linton in the past for Arsenal. People laughed at me, but I like that. He's a Brazilian that's not really a Brazilian. He's a battling ram. So, yeah. But you're right. The midfield is good. It's very good.
No, definitely. And to sound this off, I was going to do a quick combined 11. Because
That's
if
quite
we're doing,
that's
if,
quite naive to do, but I mean, it's up to you. Let's do this. We can
What?
debate it.
if there's anything to debate, really, if we're basing it off of form, but I mean,
Yeah.
hey, why not?
Okay, based off
Um,
of let's do it. Let's do it.
I guess we'll say 4-3-3. I guess
Yeah,
we'll
4-3-3.
say
Yeah.
that. In goal, we have you know what? I'm not even gonna waste my time. Yeah, Ryan can go straight in goal because a few months ago I said Onana's one of the best keepers in the league. Just he's facing shots every single game. He may as well be at a bar at this point. He may as well be at the pub. Then Onana turned back into Onana. I'm just like, what have you done to
Yeah.
me?
It's a shame. He's a good shot stopper. He makes some silly errors at times. But David Raya, I think, listen, he doesn't even leak that many goals. David Raya's a good shot stopper, high claims into the box. He's the main reason why we defend corners and crosses well. Distribution's unbelievable. Right back, Timber for me, but Mazraoui.
I could see either way.
Yeah, because
he's one of the only ones that argue for him. He's one of the few.
Oh, okay. For me, Timber's better than Ben White, but I'm gonna go for you because I like you, Dave, and I'll be honest, I don't see many other positions where you're gonna get many players in. I might give you Mazraoui, and he's been good on form. He has been good on form.
Yeah.
Well,
or you could throw Mazraoui at left back as well, and he can play there. And neither of us have left backs, anyways.
Let's do Mazraoui at left back. Let's do Timber. Right
okay. Back. I got the centre backs. Yeah, we can move.
I'm sorry. As much as that Newcastle may have been bad, and we can't. I'm not doing recently bias. Gabriel Saliba.
No, yeah, we can just move on.
Yeah.
Into the midfield.
Oh, actually, it's been good copy. And
you know what?
No.
I might make a case for Ugarte. Kobe, I wouldn't say. I mean, if we're doing it off of form, I mean, Kobe maybe. Yeah, I'd say Ugarte goes. I'd say Ugarte goes in there.
Partey's been our best midfielder out of the three.
He's been really good. Yeah.
If I'm gonna do the whole as a players in totality, then obviously I'll be like, oh yeah, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, they are better players. But if you're going on form, Partey's been the only one I can really argue has been tremendous on form. So he's one I have to campaign to be in. If we're doing it on form, I have to say he has to be in that midfield in some capacity. And it's hard because I don't like Bruno, but Martin Odegaard of late hasn't been good on form. Do you do Ugarte and Partey? I think that's very defensive, and you put 110 in there. Is that
okay? That works.
Wait, I'm conceding too much here. It should be.
Or we could put Odegaard in there if you really want to, but
if it's on form, I'd rather go Partey, Rice, and then Bruno. But I mean,
yeah, we can do that. That works.
That
works.
And as much
as Partey, Rice.
Just quickly, us fans, I know Odegaard is a better player than Bruno, but on form,
no, he absolutely is. I'll be the first one to say it. And then in the front three, I'm just gonna say Ahmad, and you can take the rest.
Brother, I was just gonna say you pick. I'll be real. I'm actually just gonna be like, honestly, I'm not fussed. I'll be real. Okay, Ahmad. Yep. I'm not even. There's nothing I can say to argue with that. Bloody hell, this is a shit show, isn't it?
I'd probably still prefer Havertz to Haaland.
I'd probably think I'd put Jesus over Havertz. That sounds crazy though. And then put Ethan on the right. Or I can't even put. I was gonna say put Saka in there, and Saka's done more.
He's injured.
We can't even put Saka in. He's injured, but Lord have mercy. Do you know what? I'm putting Saka in there. He's not.
Yeah,
listen,
why not?
Form, if we're being real, before he was injured, on form, he beats everyone in that right position.
Okay.
So Saka go in, and
so we're doing Saka, Jesus, and Ahmad.
And Ahmad.
And lastly, just to round it off, score predictions.
1-1. We go into extra time. Look at my mood. Look at me. Look at me as an Arsenal fan here. We win. Yeah, 1-1, and then we scrape through with a 2-1 win, or it goes to penalties and we beat you. but I'd expect Arsenal to get the job done in extra time. What about you?
For the first time ever, you know what? I actually feel a bit of confidence. I would say 2 on Man United, but it could easily go the other way.
Yeah,
Very easily.
I don't disagree.
But there you have it. There has been your Arsenal Manchester United preview. It's always an absolute pleasure to have Cecil back on the show. Make sure you subscribe to AFTV and DR Sports and all of their brilliant content as well.
Yeah.
And we will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.